Hi, hello everyone. My name is Jefferson Córdoba. I am a student of the career of Pedagogía de los Idiomas Nacionales y Extranjeros at UTPL University. Today I am going to talk about different structures to form language, being concise and clear, grammatical devices. But for like to present my idea. So here you have. Let's start. So as I previously said, I'm going to talk about grammatical devices, and these grammatical devices are aspect, tense, and voice. So let's start with the first one, which is aspect. So what is aspect? Aspect in briefly terms is the way in how the verb is referred. So if we look into the subdivision of aspect, we mainly have three aspects, but for other authors we also find a fourth aspect. So let's start with the first one, which is the simple aspect, which consists of the verb stem, where the person is used as a subject. So in this simple aspect, the construction will be adding s and s in present and adding ed in past. So that will be the grammatical construction. To put an example, Gabi played soccer. So we are adding ed, or it, or and next we have the progressive aspect, which is formed by verb phrases which include different tenses. So this is important because this progressive aspect include past, present, and future. Okay, but the structure will be the be, the verb be, plus the verb with ing. So it will be a gerund. To put an example, Fernando is playing basketball. The next aspect is the perfect aspect, which indicates completeness. This perfect aspect use auxiliaries has and have in present perfect and had in past perfect, but it's also like combined with the present with the perfect present, but it's different, okay? Because this refers to tense, but this refers to aspect. It's like intertwined. Finally, as I said, for other authors, we also have the present progressive aspect, which is very, very similar. The construction is similar to the perfect aspect, but we have to add a gerund. So it will be like, I have been working. Okay. Okay. The next topic will be the tense. So the tense is the way a verb is assigned to a time occurrence. In briefly terms, it will be about the time, about where, when an action occurred. That's all. It's about the time. That's the tense. So in the tense we have the another things to mention. It's that the verb has to be finite, because non-finite verb doesn't show a time occurrence. Okay, so now let's continue with the first one, which is the past tense, where an action occur, started, and ended in the past. So it will be like if Mario bought a car, so that action started and ended in the past. Also, we have the present tense, where we find different uses as for habits, routine, and schedules. To put an example, I get up early every day. That could be a habit, a routine, or a schedule, wherever you want. But also, it's just for universal truths and facts. To put an example, the humanity went to the moon in 1969. Okay, that's it, a universal truth, and it's fact. But also it's used in performative actions, in performative sentence. To put an example, when maybe in a movie, someone with a type of power is saying, I sentence you to a life without, and then blah blah blah. Okay, so that will be the present tense. And then we have the future tense, where in the future tense we have the uses of auxiliaries that are will, be going to, and models. So what happened in this tense? In the previous tense, in the previous tenses, the verbs are modified, but in the future tense, the verbs are not modified. Why? Because we have the use of auxiliary will, be going to, and models. So the verbs remains in their original forms. To give an example, one day I will be a teacher. So be it in its base form. That is because I am using the auxiliary will, and that's how the future tense works. It's used for actions that have not yet occurred. Okay, and next we have the perfect present, which I previously mentioned. It's a combination with the aspect, the perfect aspect. To put an example, the young girl has traveled. Okay, another thing to mention is the perfect present is mainly used for actions that occur in the past before another action, also for reported speech and for if conditionals. Okay, well, so now let's continue with the final grammatical device, which is in this case voice. So what happened with voice? The voice is used for different constructions to present, represent, or state an event, and also to state or say this event from different perspectives. When we see these different perspectives, for example, when we use reported speech, okay, that's where we change the way of the sentences and we turn to passive from passive to active or vice versa. Okay, so the first one, let's continue. So the first one is the active. Another thing to mention is that in these voices we have to have in mind what are the most important aspects to talk about. So we have to ask ourselves the questions like who did the action, what was done, what it's been doing, who is the receiver of the action and why. So that's the questions that we have to have in order to construct coherently properly these grammatical constructions. So now the first one will be the active voice, where so the active voice is focuses the person or the agent performing the action. So the active voice is focusing the doer of the action. As an example, Maria play her guitar, and that will be an example where the action is focused on the performer. And next we have the passive voice, which focuses on the noun phase, focuses on the receiver of the action. So if we use the previously example mentioned, Maria play her guitar, will be a guitar, or the guitar was played by Maria. Okay. Also, the use of passive voice is recommended when the doer of the action is a noun or is irrelevant. If we want to recognize, or rather recognition to the doer of the action, we have to use by, as I did in the previously example, by Maria. Okay. Well, and the final one is the middle voice, which is a little way we're just playing, because it's a combination of both of active voice and passive voice, because it has a similar structure to active voice, but the message is understood as in the passive voice. In the middle voice, the agent and the receiver is undefined, or it can be the same. As an example, I shaved myself this morning. So I'm the receiver and the doer of the action at the same time. Well, that will be all about these structures. So why it's important for us to know this knowledge. Well, I think that as future teachers, the mastery of these types of content ensure us to be available to teach correctly and properly to our future students. We don't expect to teach properly when we don't even master this type of content. The grammar and the grammatical aspects are important in the language teaching. So that will be all. Thank you, and see you next time.